Welcome to the Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide, and your host for this amazing series is gonna be Bear.
Sir, we didn't get Bear.
What do you mean we didn't get Bear? We didn't get Bear Grylls? Did he not want to drink out of the toilet? What was the problem?
He said that he couldn't take a job when there wasn't donuts or a camera close by.
Who did we get?
Monkey 870.
Who's that? I never heard of him.
He's a YouTuber with hardly any subscribers.
Okay. Anyways, let's get on with surviving the apocalypse.
Hello survivors, and welcome back to our 7 Days to Die Alpha 19 tutorial series. And in this episode, we are going to go through our skills. When you finish your beginner quest, you get 4 points before you get a level. And there's several different skill trees here to really get to know. Now the perk books, you have to find those. And they are amazing, because each one of them has a huge payoff if you finish the whole series. But that's going to take you most of your playthrough. Let's concentrate on the stuff you can get right now. In perception, everything starts with 1 point already in it. So you deal 200% headshot damage and have a 5% chance to dismember with rifles, explosives, spears, and tools governed by salvage operations. And that's the way it works on each tree. The extra stuff you get from putting into the beginning of the tree unlocks higher levels. Like that requires perception level 4. So you would have to put 4 points into the perception tree to get it. But each tree, the points you put into the actual tree go toward the weapons that are in that tree. In perception, we have Deadeye, which I believe is for rifles. Yes, that's for rifles. Demolition Expert, which is grenades, pipe bombs, things like that. And javelins. A lot of people like the javelins. I'm not a huge fan. Well, the spears is what they're called when you craft them, but I'm not a huge fan of them, so I hardly ever put any points in that. Lock picking. I don't worry about that either, because if you find enough lock picks in the beginning, you can unlock safes. It just takes a little while. And then by the time you would level up enough to get this, you have an auger or a good pickaxe and you can just break into them. The Infiltrator. What does that do? I normally don't put many points in perception. That's why I'm not sure what all they do. Loose board traps and landmines trigger half a second slower. Okay, so that helps you with all the little traps that the fun pimps stuck in the places for you. Animal tracker. Crouch down and keep your keen eyesight to find tracks of small animals. Oh, that might actually be good. I've never looked at that before, but that would be something worth putting a point in eventually. Penetrator. With firearms, archery, and spears. If you use armor-piercing bullets, it can go through multiple targets. That could be handy depending on what kind of base you build. Lucky Looter is always good to put a couple points in. It's not as good this alpha, it seems like. I think they've nerfed it quite a bit, so I haven't been putting much into it. Treasure Hunter. I don't know about this one. I mean, you find 10% more items in buried treasure, 20% more, 30% more, which sounds great. But I don't find a lot of treasure maps. I find a few, and once you get out of the tier 1 quest, you're not going to be getting many buried supplies. So, I don't think that one's worth your time. Salvage operations, definitely worth your time. Because you're going to gain some for everything you wrench down. Let's jump on to strength. I normally put some points in this starting out. Because boomstick, one of the first guns you're going to find is going to be a blunderbuss. And it falls under shotguns. So these are going to help you craft better shotguns and do more damage with them. Pummel Pete, the first weapon you make is a club. And I actually really like the clubs. This tree will help you get better with clubs. Skull Crusher, that's for people that like the sledgehammer. And you can craft a basic stone sledgehammer in the beginning if you want to try that. I've never been a fan of the sledgehammers, but it is a good weapon if you're good with it. Sexy T-Rex is a must. It helps with your stamina for all your melee and tools, so you want to get points in that as quick as you can. Heavy armor, that's later game, depending on which armor you're using. They have one in different trees to help you out, so you're not as encumbered and they have better durability and stuff. Pack Mule, a lot of people use this. It unlocks those 3 rows I was showing you that make you over encumbered. But if you just wait and you can have a little patience, you can make pockets for your clothes. And then you can find extra pockets for your armor. Eventually you can unlock the whole thing without ever wasting a point in here. But that's up to you. Some people like their full inventory at the beginning. So it's something you have to think about. Master Chef. This is... I don't know. I normally end up at least putting 1 point in it. Because the first point, you can cook bacon and eggs and a few different types of meat. That'll help you out. But... you find recipes for that kind of stuff. So if you're lucky and you find a few recipes, you don't necessarily have to go down this. But once again, your choice. If you want to be a cook, you can learn all the recipes in that tree. Miner 69er, that's going to be a must as well, because that's going to help you do better with all your tools. Motherlode is going to give you more from, like more materials from using your tools. Let's jump on to Fortitude. Fortitude has the Brawler. A bunch of people love the Brawler build. I'm not a fan. I mean, I may try it this alpha if somebody comments and wants me to. But the idea of punching zombies, I'm sure I can find something to hit them with. But also in this tree is Machine Gunner. It's going to help you out with all your machine guns. So it is a decent tree to go down. It has the Huntsman. I normally at least put 1 point in here eventually, because it's going to give you 20% more resources from animals. And as hungry as you get in this game, you're going to need it. Well insulated, I normally don't worry about, because by the time I'm level 6, I can normally find decent clothes. So you don't necessarily need that. Living off the land, this is one you're probably going to have to go down. And hopefully you enjoy farming. Because this game, the food, this alpha is rough in the beginning. Once you get some levels in living off the land and get a farm going, it's not bad. Pain Tolerance, super good tree. I normally don't put points in it, but I should. Because you reduce your HP loss and less chance of being stunned. You don't seem to get stunned as much in this alpha, but just reducing the HP lost. You know, if you max this out, you reduce it by 25% and no chance to get stunned. That is a very good tree to go down. Healing Factor. This one, soon as I get my points, I'd at least do the first one. I normally don't go any higher, because it will heal you over time. So if you get in a little bit of trouble, your health gets low, as long as you can stay away from people long enough, your health will come up. So that's a great one. Iron Gut, this can help you out in the beginning. you lose less food and water from like mining and stuff. So it can be a help. I normally don't do it. I just struggle for food the whole beginning instead. Rule 1 cardio. It's a decent tree to go in. A lot of people straight away put a point in it. And it's not a bad idea because you're going to be running for the first few days. Because it's going to take you most of the time, unless you're lucky, till day 3 or 4 at least to get a bicycle. Unless you just really rush to it. So this can help you out. But it seems to me, kind of later game, it's a wasted point. Alright, let's jump into agility. This is going to be your bows, pistols, and knives. And down here you have run and gun. Proves your hip fire accuracy. And movement penalty when reloading is reduced. So that's a good one to go down. Flurry of blows. One-handed melee attack speeds are increased by 10%. It applies to clubs and everything. I forgot all about this perk, but it's one I need to be putting points in, because that would help with the club a lot. Because I tend to, once I get a gun, I don't use the club much as long as I have ammo. I keep one with me in case. There's your light armor perk for like military armor. Parkour. That's a decent tree. Another one I normally don't use. But it helps you fall a little farther before you get any damage and reduce stamina cost of jumping. So that's decent. And the stealth perks, if you're wanting to be a stealthy person, this one, sneak attacks deal extra damage. And this one you just hide better. So those can be decent if you're trying to hide and sneak around and get the little sneak shots in. Those are great. Intelligence. I normally go a pretty good ways in this tree. You kind of have to. Especially if you're playing solo. Because you don't really have to have electrocutioner. That's for stun batons. Those aren't my favorite weapons, so I hardly ever use them. Robotics inventor would be cool, but it's going to take you a while before you're actually going to be able to build any of them, because you'd have to be intelligence 3 before you can even unlock the robotic sledge. So that might be a good tree later game. Better barter. I do a lot of times put points in here. Not my first 4, but it is a good tree, because if you get down far enough, the trader's secret stash is going to show you better loot. So it gets worth it. If you really try hard in this tree, you can get to the point where the traders are going to have augers and chainsaws a lot quicker than you're going to find it in game.
Just to let you folks know, the Trader Joe's will be closing soon.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. During adventure, this is a good one to take in the beginning. The first day or so, you're going to have a little trouble with the quest because you're not quite strong enough yet. But this gives you additional choices and more dukes the farther you go into it. So it's a really great tree. And in the beginning of the game, you're going to need to do quest to level up. Let's kill George real quick. Come here. Why are you running away now, George? Alright, George is dead. Let's get back where we was here. Intelligence. Alright, daring adventure. Great tree. You're going to get extra loot for quest. In the beginning of the game, you're going to be doing a bunch of quests. Probably up to tier 2, maybe tier 3. Just to get your levels up so you can find better loot. Charismatic nature. As far as I know, this is only good in multiplayer. If you take it, your nearby allies gain health and stamina. So it's great if you're working as a team for one of the players to take this. Physician. The first level is going to unlock your chemistry station. It's kind of expensive to build. But if you have the parts, you can throw, what level is it? Level 3. You're going to end up 4 or 5 down this tree before it's over anyway. So, if this is already unlocked, 1 point you can build a chemistry station if you hadn't found the schematic. So I normally, almost every playthrough, end up putting at least 1 point in there. You can also craft first aid bandages, kits, and splints. So, it's a good tree. Just the first level of it's good. Advanced engineering. This is where quite a few of your points are going to go throughout the game. The first one unlocks the forge and lets you craft glue cheaper. The second one unlocks workbenches and cement mixers, so you're at least going to go 2 in here probably. The fourth one, you start unlocking electrical traps. The fourth one's battery banks and nail guns. That's actually good. I didn't know it unlocked the nail gun for you. I normally end up finding one, buying one, or finding the schematic, but okay. And then the fifth one, SMG turrets. Yeah, that's a really good tree. Grease monkey, another tree you're going to want to get into. Especially the first one, as quick as you can. That'll teach you to craft a bicycle. And then after that, it's kind of up to you how far you want to go. So those are all the perks. And as you've seen with my first 4, I took healing factor. And I'm going to put a point in Pummel Pete, a point in Sexy Rex, and a point in Miner 69er. So now, since I put that point in Miner 69er, I can craft a level 2 stone axe. Since I put a point in Pummel Pete, I can craft a level 2 club and do more damage with it. So that, people, are the basics of the skill tree. Once you get in the game, the first night, like right now, I shouldn't be on the ground. It's after 2200, everybody's running. I can't go to the trader. Yeah, I wasn't being very smart. Y'all may get to see me die during a tutorial. Ah, you stupid feral. Run away. Run away with me. As soon as I find a place to hide, we'll end this. Ah, dang it pushed me off. Did I actually get away? Did I just run away and she lost track of me? Because that would be kind of awesome. Alright, I'm going to hide right here. Okay. Crouch down. Yeah, the first night you're going to want to find somewhere to hide if you don't, try to hurry up and build you a base or something. So what was I even going to say before that lady showed up? But yeah, that's your basics of all your skill points. And once you find a place to hide, that's where I was going when I figured out I wasn't hiding and it was dark. Once you find a place to hide, you can go through here and really read and examine all of them. That's one reason a lot of times I'll just throw the 1 point into healing factor. As soon as I get my points, I'll save the other 3 and see what schematics I find and everything. And then the first night, once everything's quiet and I'm hiding, I'll go through and really look at what I want to pick out. And that's what I'd suggest to any new players. Really go through and read and see what you think you're going to be needing right now. Because it's horrible when you find something you need and you don't have points and you put a point in something you didn't need. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to hurry up and end this thing. It's already too long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave me a like. Hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next episode.